The Patrick Riggins Show. Call in now, 865-243-TALK. That's 243-8255. And now your host, Patrick Riggins.
Welcome to the Patrick Riggins Show. Each week I am here giving you hope for the future of America, sounding a call to action for all Americans to take back our country from this ever-growing monster of pervasive and intrusive government. The radio beacon and navigational aid, which broadcasts our signal far and wide, is the powerhouse radio station of the Southeast, WNOX FM 100.3. This is the radio station pumping out 100,000 watts, enabling us to be heard in parts of 5 southeastern states and 2 time zones. But if for some unfortunate reason you are only here on vacation or passing through and not a permanent resident, when you return to your home place, you can still tune this show in over the internet at www.wnoxfm.com. At that website, you can view the sheer magnificence and opulence that is the luxurious studios of Station Knoxville of the Patrick Riggins Show here at WNOX. All provided by the exclusive in-studio webcam located on the east side of the room. That web address again, if you missed it, is wnoxfm.com. The regular listeners of the show already know him. He is the hardworking show producer for all the Sunday shows here on the radio station. But he likes this show the best because after this, he gets to go home.
Not just for that reason.
Yeah, he sits to my left. His name is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we were talking right before the show started. Tori's also, for those of you who don't know, Tori's a drummer for a band here locally called Quart Jar. And you guys have some stuff coming up.
Yes, finally I get to announce some gigs. Yay!
I ask you about it. You say, well, I'm not sure, but maybe all that asking each week finally got something going in someone's mind, and they said, hey, we'll call that band.
Yes.
That's what did it, sure.
Yes. Yes.
So you have some dates coming up here where the band's going to be playing?
Yeah, actually, we are playing at the Well September 15th. That's a Saturday, September 15th, with a friend of mine's band, actually. They're called Gorilla Sons, and their drummer, Jesse, I used to work with him, and good friend of mine. But we're playing at the Well. We're opening up for them the 15th, and possibly the weekend before that, the 8th, at the Pilot Light. I just heard word on that, like, while I was here a couple hours ago. I got a text for it, so not for sure on that one, but most probably will be at the Pilot Light the 8th and the Well the 15th.
And the Pilot Light, the location of that being the Old City.
The Old City, the old punk
Jackson
bar
Avenue.
down there. If anybody remembers the Pilot Light, it's the old, let's see, how should I put this and be... Alternative, yeah. Not the fanciest of the places in the Old City.
Rustic.
Rustic, very rustic. Very punk and very rustic, but a cool place nonetheless.
And then the Well is up in Bearden there, right before, just east of Mayo's in that shopping center.
Yeah, right next to Long's Drug Store and Lenny's, and that's a really cool place. The woman who opened it is... Oh, I wish I wouldn't have started talking about it because I can't remember.
But it's basically words for you now.
It's by musicians for musicians. The place is, and it's really clean and a really cool place to go. It's not a dive whatsoever.
And again, that's September 15th. A little ways off, but you can go ahead and get that on your calendar at the Well. And then the Pilot Light, maybe the week before, but we'll be sure and let you know here on the show.
Oh yeah, right? Well, we'll keep you
updated.
I'm sitting here trying to multitask. That's why I can't talk. I'm doing other things at the same time. Honestly, I swear I can talk.
I thought I smelled something burning. Anyway, thank you to everyone for tuning in again this week to the show. I like to do that every week because I want this listening audience to know just how very much we appreciate you here at the Patrick Riggins Show. As election gets closer and closer, I find it a little interesting how the media and the campaigns start dividing the country into different demographics and speculate which candidate is most likely to win which area or group. Usually during this conversation, the topic of what each candidate is promising to each group comes up, what bill they can pass to curry their votes. Every time I hear this, I just want to scream. Yes. When did we get to the point where we're trying to screw over other Americans in order to get what I want? And that is what you're doing when you sell your vote for some goodie from Washington. Where do you think the money comes from to provide this little dividend? It comes from your fellow taxpayer. Government doesn't make or sell anything. All government does is take money from one person and give it to another. If they are doing something with it, like building roads or defending the country, that's fine. That is a function of government. But when government takes money from one American and hands it to another, then that is blatantly wrong. I've stated it on this show many times before, and it is almost becoming a weekly thing. If you're taking money from the government in some form of aid, and it is over and above what you paid in, if you even paid anything in, then you're stealing from your neighbor. At least have the guts and the courtesy to walk next door and demand they pay for whatever it is you don't want to pay for. In this country, at least most of the time, you are allowed to face your accuser. But now, we have a bunch of anonymous people riding on the backs of others who are working and trying to make something of their lives. And if we complain or ask them to meet some sort of qualification criteria, we get called cold-hearted. And if that doesn't work, they'll play the ever-present race card. We are told to be quiet, work, pay your taxes while these others can lounge about and get their government checks.
Be a good American.
Yeah, be a good American. Pay your taxes and be quiet. What is right about this? When do we start thinking that living off the fruits of others' labor is okay? What these people don't realize, and to be truthful, they probably don't even care, is government aid is an insidious and destructive thing. It makes people lazy. It destroys their drive and motivation. Because if everything is being provided for you, why bother trying to do it for yourself? So just think about that as you go through the week. If you're taking something like that, start thinking about where it's coming from. It's coming from your neighbors, and should you be taking money from your neighbors like that? As I said, just at least go next door and tell them thank you at the very least. We're up on the first break here. This week we have some stories on the presidential candidates, although not from an angle you'll hear on any other show, but you've come to expect that from a top-notch and original radio show like this one, along with some other stuff, and we'll try to work in some of your calls. Just join us after the break here with the Patrick Riggins Show as Tori dances around the studio. We'll be back here.